Ladies and gentlemen, my bride and I would like to thank every single one of you for being here this evening. We love the touching cards and the very fabulous gifts. Now, if you look around the room, you can see we're pretty much filled to capacity. A few years ago, I watched My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and I thought, that's a lot of people. Little did I know that a few years later, I'd be having my own version of my big fat Armenian Egyptian wedding. So if you look around the room, you see it's very multicultural. Our marriage brings 4 cultures together. And we've learned a little bit from each other's cultures. And Nina and I would like to share with you what we've learned about marriage from each one of those cultures. Marhaba. When I was a young boy growing up in Yermo, I always went to the post office, and I'd see these weird dressed guys with long beards and long robes, and I never knew who they were. It wasn't until I met Sam that I found out that they were priests at the Dare out in Mineola, or Minola, as I was quickly corrected. From the Coptic Church, Nina and I have learned that there's 3 pillars in marriage: love of God, love of spouse, and love of children. The great apostle, St. Mark, brought Christianity to Egypt, and thereafter the Egyptian and Sudanese people contributed significantly to Christianity, including the sanctity of marriage. Nina and I vowed that we'll uphold these pillars in our marriage and keep them close to our heart. Pariye gadzek sirali harazadne. Odar para med nishana gutiun uniim amusnutian giankismech. Inchbeskide voyes odar eskiem paits Yesuzetsi hayarun, masin savir, eskesiel hayaren lezun, yevmishaguita inch kam voganam. Ais polore uzetsi, enel im shad sirali ninai samar. Vorbezi zinka aveli sirem. Marinan, Irzavagna runmech, semanat hagagan hokin, lezun yevmishaguita. Negais marinan, meseche, paits, aisor ir hokin, gehejavi traktin mech. Menkver biribahenk, hagagan polor, avantagan sovo rutianere. Merlavyevkesh, Ore runmech, biribahenk, ein hoske, vogase, meg, patsi, vra, zeranak. Now, for those that don't speak Armenian, I've learned a little bit of the language. To paraphrase a little what I said, in the Armenian culture, they have a saying, may you grow old on one pillow together. And we look forward to growing old on one pillow together. When I was growing up, I never really thought I was different from anyone else. Until when I was in the 2nd grade, a girl came up and called me an Oreo. Being biracial has its perks, and from my side of the family, we have 2 distinct traditions and cultures. My African-American ancestors toiled in the fields and in the streets of this country for over 200 years to achieve what Dr. Martin Luther King visioned and reminded our founding fathers of, that all men are created equal, and that you should be able to marry no matter the color of your skin. Love and respect are strong traditions of African American marriage, and we vow we'll always love and respect each other. My other ancestors came from England, Ireland, Germany, in pursuit of that American dream that they heard about everyone talking in Europe. A couple hundred years later, my grandpa brought his family to California in pursuit of the golden dream that many were talking about in Missouri. Today, Nina and I made vows to love each other until the very end, and my grandparents, my aunt and uncles, and my cousins are proof that love is eternal. There are a few people I'd like to thank tonight. I consider them VIPs. First off, Dad, thank you for being here this evening. It is a great honor to Nina and I, and we look forward to having many great times with you in the future. Mom, give me 1 second. Mom, you always said when I was younger that you just always knew that I was going to be a girl. And then, surprise! It may have only took 30 years, but Mom, you finally have your daughter at last. You always said you don't know what you did to raise me right, but it was that mother's love. And I hope that we can love our children as much as you've shown the love to us. Thank you for loving me so much and loving Nina almost as much as me. When Nina and I were first dating, I played a practical joke on her that didn't go very well. Her first person to come to her defense was her brother. Now, while Chris might not have thought, JJ is probably not the guy for Nina, he's kind of an ass. But Chris, I thank you for welcoming me into your family, treating me like a brother. And Nina and I are glad that God blessed us that you were able to come back to California. We thank you for all the great times, and we look forward to all the future times that we're going to have together. And did I mention my brother's a doctor? When I first met Samir, I had already heard some stories about him. One of my coworkers, her husband used to be his partner. And I was pretty intimidated, some of the stories I heard. When I walked in the door, the first thing Sam said to me was, "You remind me of my friend from Sudan." I didn't know how to take that, but I figured it must mean a great thing. Sam, from the very first day, you welcomed me into your family. You've never let me go hungry. And it's with a great honor that I can now call you Dad. Thank you, Dad, for all your support with the wedding and with our future home. Liz. Growing up, you and Nina wanted the same exact thing. And in the end, you got it. You got tall, African, Jonathans. It was an honor for you to be the maid of honor, and we thank you for all your love and support, and we look forward to sharing your touching day with you and John T. When I met my best man, if you were to ask me at that time if he was going to be my best man, I would have told you, not in a million years. You see, my best man tried to hustle me in a dart game the first time I met him. Little did he know, I was a lot smarter than I looked. CJ, some might say my mom built the foundation, but everyone else knows that you put in the finishing touches. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for you. And all the good times and the bad times, we've been through a lot, and it wouldn't be without us here and our bromance, we wouldn't be here today. Now, while you may talk to him, and you'll hear some stories maybe about me cheating and go fish, it may be true, it might not be, but I wouldn't have anyone else as my best man. Thank you. My bride. The girl that almost got away. I liked her so much after our first date, I wanted to play the 3-day rule. But for those of you that know Nina, she ain't patient. When I didn't respond to her text the very next day, let's just say I had to remind her that I really did like you. I just was trying to show you I wasn't desperate. You're sassy, stubborn, and you got the greatest smile in the world. My life is easier, happier, and you're my defender in life. And I look forward to growing old, stubborn, and gray with you. Just don't lose that smile. Lastly, I'd like to thank someone that couldn't be here tonight with us physically. When I first met this lady, she said, "You smile a lot." I was very nervous that day. A few weeks later, I had this routine. I had to call my mom, I had to call Nina, and I had to call Miss Marina. And if I didn't call all three of them, I was in very big trouble. Especially if it was Miss Marina I didn't call. She was the best mother-in-law a guy could ever have, and we very much miss her so much. We thank her for her blessings, and I know she's in heaven having a party for us. Nina and I have 2 toasts tonight that we'd like to make. First, we'd like to raise a toast to our friends and family that the Lord called home before this joyous occasion. Cheers. Lastly, Nina and I would like to toast every single one of you. Everyone says it's our night, but it wouldn't be special without our close family and friends here. We hope you enjoy dinner and have a fun party, because we're going to be shaking our tail feather in a little bit. Cheers. Love you. DJ Allen, it's time for dinner.